This is amazing. And I want, like, I don't know. I want everybody to be able to get, like, this perspective.
It's our duty to pass it on now. I think back to some of the kids that I was in treatment with and how just there was not even like a door for them to open to a new perspective.
We have an obligation now to start opening doors for other people.
100%.
Michelle Obama was like, pull them forward, like reach a hand back and really like bring somebody forward. Be that person that changed your life.
Oh yeah. Before I was sad that this is ending, but now I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it to be over because I'm ready to go into like my new community of college and everything and just spread this stuff like wildfire.
Right.
This is the last day and we leave tomorrow and that's it.
And so we ended up interviewing Scout Bassett, who ended up being one of my all-time favorite interviews. She's a Paralympian, and her story, it's also about being adopted.
Scout, it's nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Estephanie.
Hi, nice to meet you,
Scout.
So I grew up in Nanjing, China. I was born there, and when I was a baby, I lost my right leg in a fire that happened. And shortly after that, I was just abandoned on the street. And later found at a 1.5 years old and taken to the orphanage. And just went through some really traumatic experiences when I was in that orphanage with starvation and child labor and physical abuse. I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't know it was any different because, you know, you're in an environment where that's all you know. Fortunately for me, I was adopted when I was 7 years old and came here to the States, and I weighed all of 22 pounds at 7. I grew up in a small town in northern Michigan, primarily Caucasian. As a result, I had just a lot of like experiences where I was very marginalized and sort of the outcast, and I grew up thinking that I was lesser than because that was always the treatment that I had received. I decided I wanted to be involved in sports, and I was not included, I was not accepted. The day that I ran when I was 14 years old, I remember it being one of the most traumatizing days of my whole life. And the reason that is because I had this running prosthetic that had this, you know, blade that looked different. And I remember thinking that thing was fugly. Like, that was the ugliest thing I'd ever seen in my whole life. Like, there's no way I was gonna put that on, right? Well, when you run, like there's no way you can hide your prosthetic. That was the first time that I was gonna have to be out. Like, I was gonna have to show people that this is who I am, that I couldn't hide, that I was an amputee. And, you know, I got out there and I realized that I had nothing to be afraid of. You know, all the things that I thought I was so fearful of, like, what would people think of me, seeing me like this? And I got out there and I started running and I realized, like, I love to do this. This is so liberating. This is so freeing because here I am out and this is who I am. I had always felt such shame of where I'd come from and of my background and of being an amputee. And that I thought as a woman that I couldn't be strong or beautiful or all the things that I thought other girls my age were. I didn't think I was. And then in that moment I realized, oh my gosh, I'm just as powerful. I'm just as strong. I'm just as beautiful as anybody else, you know? The Paralympics for me has been life-changing, competing on the highest level of sport and realizing that even though I'm an athlete that has a disability, like I can have such influence and power. If anything, I love that my life path has been so different. It's been so unusual. And the road that it's taken for me to get to where I am has been so hard. But those trials are, in actuality, paving the way to greatness. When you surrender, when you quit, you give someone else or something else power over you. I'm never gonna give, you know, someone or something else that kind of power over me. The only person that's gonna have power over me is me. And that whole journey, first of all, is a lifelong journey. But it starts with you, and it starts within. Just embrace that journey.
Oh man, our very last day, on this trip, which is crazy to think about. I have about a week and a half, and then I'm packing up and I'm saying goodbye, and I'm going away for college. I've learned that I don't need to feel like I'm odd or I'm like the weird one out, because in the end, this is what makes me me.
Faith, hope, love. Esther O'Brien.
I'm going back home and I'm a little uncertain of what's to come, and I'm prepared for whatever obstacles may come, because the advice that I've gotten, the stories that I've heard are with me forever now. Trust your path, the loops, turns, detours, and all. Signed, Estephanie Cardenas.
Going back home, I'm starting school on the 20th, but I've also got to continue with like my advocacy. Really in depth with my community. I need to start going out and talking to people in ways that are going to make me uncomfortable, and I have to be able to understand and listen. But like, I feel like I have to now. I really do feel like I have to. It isn't enough in life to just change policies. You have to change people's minds. And then I put P.S. The only way to change their minds is to change their hearts. It's never going to be easy. Things in life that are worthwhile are never easy.
It's not going to just end after this trip, and how we're still going to overcome adversity, and we're still going to have to fight off a lot of these demons that we deal with.
Beating the odds is about attitude.
Like, beating the odds is so much more than just overcoming hardships. It's about continuing. It's about pushing forward.
Imagine the camera is all of the kids that are in it right now, right? Like, whatever that is.
Oh man, this is hard. Okay.
This is to anybody and to any kid that has ever felt like they don't belong, or felt like the situation or environment that they come from defines them.
Know that you're not alone.
Know that you are worthy and you are worth it.
And it's not going to be the end of the world, even though it may feel like that every day.
But you can get through it, and because you get through it, you're going to be more adaptable, and you're going to be able to make more change than you can imagine.
Don't be afraid to be bold, and really ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I have to do to get there? How can I start right now?
And no matter what anyone says, you are the best that this world has to offer. You're the reason why I'm going to fight. You matter. You matter more than you will ever know.
Okay, that is the end of the Beating the Odds documentary. In case you don't know, at Roadtrip Nation, we are taking trips like this all the time, and we've made tons of documentaries like this one, so be sure to subscribe to see more. And in case you missed any of the chapters from this film, you can hit the link to go back and check those out. One last time, I'd like to say thank you to ACT Center for Equity and Learning for fueling this road trip and helping us make this happen. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed.